rising, kings and queens. Trap Witch here in Atlanta, Georgia, coming to bring you a new moon in Cancer reading for July 2018. For those of you who don't know me, I go by the Trap Witch. I am a spiritual healer / intuitive reader, empowerer, and I am mainly based off Instagram, but this is what I do for livelihood and a living. I am a spiritual counselor and empowerer, and I help people find their innermost self and power through often the bridge between the shadows and the light. I don't consider myself a light worker. I don't really consider myself a shadow worker. I am a bridge. And so a lot of my readings are going to be based around bridging darkness to the light and allowing people to navigate through what might be holding them back and what might be holding back their ascension, whether it be a spiritual, emotional, mental, or physical blockage. We are here to help people move past that. So I am a daughter of Ochun in the faith of Santeria, walking towards high priestesshood, the traditional way, but I am also very much a modern witch in that I do like to still empower people in my own way. So with that being said, I'm not going to talk too much. Cancer season has had people in their motherfucking feelings. I know I've been in my feelings quite a lot. A lot of it though has just been gradually making sure that I nurture myself in the way that I see fit to continue to ascend. And a lot of people, you know, Cancer, the tough exterior, the soft interior, a lot of times we have to get stepped on. We got to get crushed a little bit to realize what we need a little bit more to nurture and protect ourselves going forward. So I did do a full moon in Capricorn reading, which was the last video I did, which was super fucking emotional in Cancer season. I cried the whole video. But with this new moon message, I'm hoping that we have some different feels, not so heavy. I don't know about you, although I've been feeling like a sense of grogginess because we have a million fucking planets in retrograde. That grogginess and that feeling of being below water isn't necessarily terrible or bad. It's just more like, you know what, I can pause for a second, I can see what's not bringing me what I need, and eventually I could come back up and I could break the surface again and have a breath of fresh air and feel revived and feel renewed and continue on. I think that this summer is going to be fucking amazing if you've been doing the work, and it's never too late to start on the work. That's what I feel like. Every day that you wake up, you have another chance, you have another opportunity to seize the day. It's up to you to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing a reading. It's going to consist of 5 cards from the New Orleans Voodoo Tarot deck by Sally Ann Glassman. And this time I'm going to complement it with a card from the Doreen Virtue Goddess Guidance Oracle cards. And then I will close it out with a meditation, how I see fit, based on what the message is and what we're needing to kind of, you know, reflect on and to meditate on. So hopefully this brings you something that you've been needing. And let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? By the way, if you want to get a notebook, it's great, so you can take notes and you can reflect later on. And if you need to take a few deep breaths before this, go ahead and do so. We'll take 3 together. 1, 2, 3. And try and breathe through the belly, because recently I saw something that's great. And they said, remember to take deep breaths from the belly, because breaths from the chest is often where anxiety lives. And that's why when we're feeling anxiety, it's hard to breathe. And we're just like all in here, okay? So try and break up that shit up off your chest that you might have been carrying throughout the week, okay? Here we go. Spirit, I call you in on behalf of the collective. I ask for Elegua to open the roads to precise messages. I ask at this time, what is it subconsciously below the surface, beyond the veil, that can facilitate in the collective's highest good with the new moon in Cancer this July 2018? We ask that any spiritual, mental, physical, or emotional blockages that might be in our way, that you bring forth clarity on how to maneuver past them so that we can grow and so we can ascend into the people that we're supposed to be for our divine mission. I call in the Egun, the ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters of benevolence only that wish to assist in this reading, in focusing our energies and our attention and intention towards what is good, what is the proper use of our energy, and so that we can be of maximum execution. I ask that we are guided now to what it is that we need to focus on with this energy, new moon in Cancer, July 2018. What should we do with this energy that we are currently feeling? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco. All right now. First card. The Radha Mambo card. And for those of you who don't know me, I don't always read according to the traditional tarot. I read heavily intuitively. So you're going to sometimes hear the traditional tarot. You're going to sometimes hear what I see based on the picture. You're just, whatever fucking message is coming through, you're going to hear it. So first card, Radha Mambo, Queen of Swords. This is what it looks like upright. It is a woman who has a snake on her head, and she is cutting through another head, so a severed head, okay? It says that this head is the head of fear, anxiety, and illusion. This is a woman, right? So let's automatically think feminine energy. Snake on the head, power. A sense of knowing your head, especially your head, in which of maybe the thoughts that you create, the things that you want to manifest. Everything that you manifest for your life comes through firstly as a thought. And a lot of times what keeps us back from allowing these thoughts to manifest? Fears and anxieties and illusions. She is cutting through the bullshit. She is cutting through the head. And that might be your head right now. This might be the head that you need to cut away. Okay? Cancer season, right? Emotional. What the fuck are we emotional about right now? Ask yourself, is it valid? Is it really a valid thought that something you should really be giving so much energy to? Or is it just an illusion and anxiety and a fear of something not knowing, right? The unknown. Before I got on here, one of my beloved homeboys, Child of Chongo, I love him to death, he wrote, I used to fear the unknown. Now the unknown works for me. Isn't that beautiful? I used to fear the unknown, but now the unknown works for me. A lot of times we fear things that we don't have a grasp on. It's more of an anxiety, right? And instead of being excited, we get anxious because it's almost like we don't know what we're looking for. But if you know yourself and you have a knowing of self, eventually you have to ask yourself, if I know myself and I know how I want to feel, I know what I want my life to look like, I know how things should sound to me based on who I am, then more than likely those thoughts of you just knowing self will help you align with the things that are for you. And although things might come and at first they might not be familiar, you're going to find out if that familiar, the unfamiliar, is for you based on what you're familiar with. That's what I'm getting coming through, okay? I'm sorry. Sometimes I have a hard time wording this together. Just because things are unfamiliar coming at you, if you know yourself, even the unfamiliar can become familiar as long as you stay familiar with yourself. That makes sense, right? Whew, okay. Because the crab, right? The crab in Cancer season. Crabs are very defensive, right? You come at them and they're like this. they're observing and they're looking and they're just like, nah, son. A lot of us, we go back and forth like the crab. We're going back and forth because it's like, who are you? What are you? Sometimes a crab is going to get tired of just going back and forth along that line, and they're going to have to take that step forward. And sometimes that step forward that they take that risk. They're taking that risk that they know themselves, that they can defend themselves, that they're going to be okay, right? And so the second card, La Sirene, okay, reverse. La Sirene is a mermaid. Sirens are mermaids that are very deceptive, okay? They're beautiful, they have a beautiful song, and oftentimes they caused seamen to crash their boats on the ship because they went and they looked and they said, oh, what's that over there? Oh, that sounds good, that looks good, let me go take a look over there, right? A lot of times we get distracted by things that appear too good to be true, that sound too good, that all of these things, right? And we take ourselves out of alignment of where we're going to go and venture that way. And when you think about the seamen that are with the ship, right? It's almost like if they know their purpose and they know their track, why would they take themselves out of alignment to go see something that's not for them, that's not in alignment with what they know about themselves, of what they know that is going to cause them to move off track, right? And so again with the crab, right, not being afraid to take the risk and going forward. It's like the crab will go back and forth and go so far to the right that it goes off course. But sometimes you just gotta take that risk to go forward. Like, nah, my G, that was the way that I'm going. That's what I'm gonna continue to do because this is what I know about myself. That over there, I don't know, but this I know for sure. Okay? And I think that's what happens sometimes. We get intimidated. And that's kind of what I'm getting. That's what I'm kind of getting from the rest of this spread, where it's like, I ease on. The Empress card, but in this deck it's a woman moving through a marketplace with a shield over her face, with a veil over her face, and all these people are looking at her. It's a sense of feeling like, you know, you can be protected going into the unfamiliar. And again, being protected because of what you know about yourself. I don't get a sense of hiding who you are or any of these things, but being bold enough to walk through wherever you're going with that energy and what you know and what you're creating and what you're here to do, and not allowing your energy to be swayed or to make you feel a sense of conflict, right? Because the next card next to that is Ogun La Flambeau, Five of Wands. Five of Wands is a conflict card, right? Ogun has come back from war, he's missing a leg, and it talks about how, you know, if he allows certain traumas and PTSDs of what he's gone through to affect him, he might as well just sever off the rest of his fucking leg. The other leg, the other arm, his head, whatever have you, right? So and so this, right? Look at how that ties in to this whole severed self, right? When you think about a crab, I want to talk about the crab today, clearly, because we're in Cancer season. But the crab, right? A crab is like that. A crab can sever itself. It can keep pulling these legs off. And for us, right? It's the same thing. A lot of times we will keep severing ourselves away from who we're really supposed to be because we're afraid. We're living in like these traumas and these PTSDs where we get distracted by things because we don't know ourselves. And it's hard to stay on task. It's hard to stay on purpose. And so this is the thing. You don't want to get conflicted in what you're here to fucking do. And so a lot of times we get into these conflicts and these battles, and that, again, like I said, I see the crab trying to like go this way and whatever, and sometimes he severs himself away from what he's actually trying to do, or he'll get more hurt trying to get off track than staying forward and focused and using your energy Using your energy wisely, not to burn yourself, but to fuel yourself forward. So for me, this whole pull is speaking to really you not getting sidetracked, you not getting severed away from really what you're trying to do and who you are because of anxieties and because of illusions and fears and conflict. Don't fear conflict. That's what I'm really feeling right now. Don't fear conflict. Do what the fuck you have to do to nurture yourself with who you know you're supposed to be and who you are. Don't fear walking in the face of what might be dangers or whatever. You might be walking into the unknown, but what the fuck do you know about you? And if you know your sense of who you are, then what the fuck can you really accomplish? You can accomplish a lot. This reading is really not that deep for me today, to be honest with you. It's going to be a short and sweet one. I really feel that, because I feel like we went really hard and deep in that full moon in Capricorn. And so this new moon is just saying, don't be conflicted and emotional and getting in your anxieties and your fears and the illusions based on shit that might seem like conflict and that might be conflicting with what you're trying to do. If you ain't got no conflict within yourself, then keep going. Because I think that, you know, with whatever you're trying to create, don't destroy yourself before you've even begun. A lot of times you'll destroy yourself because of your conflict and what you're trying to, the path you're trying to create. And before you know it, you've tore yourself to pieces before you even got started. Summertime out here in Atlanta, there's so many goddamn flies out here. Don't sever yourself away from what you truly want. Let's see what this goddess card says. Diana, focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make the mark. Like I said, focused intentions. Emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. So if you give attention to negative emotions, that is what is going to manifest. And like with the crab, right? The crab, if he's moving and he's like, oh, I got to go forward. If that's your intention and that's what you're sure about, then go fucking forward. Because if you go sideways in your negative emotions, it's going to throw you off track. Sometimes you got to stay focused on your intentions, because there's going to be conflict along the way, but you're going to go through it. You're going to have to be able to face those fears. You're going to have to be able to face those, what seems like a block, because it ain't a block if it don't got to be. If you know yourself, ain't shit going to block you. Nothing can block what you have for what you want to create for yourself in your path. You're going to find a way to get through it. But you do not have to sidestep so far out that you're getting farther and farther and farther and farther away from what you intend to do. Don't let shit distract you. Don't shit, you know, like I said with the crab, he's like, man, he's there. Oh, I gotta go. Before you know it, you taking 10 steps back. Why are you going to take 10 steps back when you know you're supposed to be taking 20 steps forward? Don't fear nothing that seems like it's supposed to be in your way. It's not. You just got to be very, very clear of how you're going to use what you got up here to move forward. Because you can get there and you could get flustered, and you get so flustered that you use your steam against you, and then you going sideways or you going back. So Diana, focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make your mark. Like I said, this isn't that deep. Sometimes it be like that. Let's go ahead and do a little meditation. Spirit, we ask that today, with the new moon in Cancer energy, that we keep our emotions at bay and we keep our intentions high so that we can move forward and not be sidetracked, or we not be distracted from what it is truly that we want. I know that we have these fears, we have these anxieties, we have these things that upset us, especially when we want to go forward and it feels like we're going back or going sideways. But we really need to stay focused and not distracted. We need to make sure that we know more about ourselves, and when we know more about ourselves, we know that we can overcome any obstacle. We know that we are protected. We know that we can survive anything that is thrown at us, and that we can move through this existence full speed ahead and not being put behind where we don't belong. We ask Spirit to protect us, allow us to have emotional intelligence and spiritual stamina, and so that we're not emotionally reactive, and so that we don't become a detriment to ourselves and our journey and our path. We ask all of this as we continue to move forward through the summer seasons, planting new seeds and creating new paths for ourselves forward. Ashe. Well, folks, it is what it is today. Don't let shit get in your way, especially your emotions. That's what it is. So I love you all. If you want to book a one-on-one session with me, I facilitate more so counseling, mentorship. It's all about your spiritual evolution and making sure that you can trust yourself and your own intuition to be able to navigate through whatever things that you have going on in your life, and that you become this vessel for Spirit to communicate with, so that you therefore can really live your best life. Because a lot of times we don't live our best lives because we allow this world to distract us from the best tool that we have, which is ourselves, and trusting that to be the ultimate GPS to get through this thing called life. Okay? So if you want to work with me, www.thetrapwitch.com, or if you just want to hit me up on Instagram, check me out, The Trap Witch, TheTrapWitch. It is all love. I wish y'all happy manifestations this new moon in Cancer, and may you continue to stay focused towards success and not get sidetracked. Peace.